Hi everyone. Joining us today is Fernando Martinelli, co-founder and the CEO of Balance Labs. Welcome.
Thank you.
To
Nice
kick
to be
off
here.
our conversation, my first few questions will be about you. And the first one is, when and how did you get exposed to crypto?
It's always through friends. I have some very smart friends that told me about this new way of sending money without any third party being involved. It was Bitcoin. It was late 2012. I kind of dismissed it at first. I just thought it was another like Ponzi scheme. And then another smart person told me about it again. I was like, if so many smart people are telling me about this, I should at least take a closer look into it. And I realized it was something kind of groundbreaking and revolutionary. The fact that no one can get in the way of you sending value to someone else. So that was kind of, to me, extremely cool. And I got kind of hooked up and never really left the space after that.
But how long did it take you to get really hooked up? Because you said at the beginning you thought it could be some kind of a Ponzi scheme.
Right. It was like maybe 6 months, and I realized that it had like a lot of essence to it. And after that, I was convinced, and never really came back out of the rabbit hole.
Oh, cool. So you've been in the space for quite a long time. What's the craziest thing then that you have done or experienced in the crypto space?
I would say that, and this is one of the reasons why Ethereum attracted me so much, and now I consider myself an Ethereum maximalist. I think that word is a bit strong. I'm open to other layer ones and admire many of them. But I kind of believe a lot more in Ethereum than in Bitcoin, which was actually what brought me to the space. It was the fact, like when I opened a CDP in the very early days of MakerDAO, and I borrowed money against myself. Like I used my own assets to borrow DAI. That was kind of a mind-blowing moment, and I'll never forget it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Now let's talk a little bit about Balance. Do you have any funny story from the early days of the project? You should have something like that, because like a lot of projects were founded at a time when there were just maybe a couple of people doing it, maybe sleeping in the office, something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I remember when we met in the early days of the protocol. We didn't have investors or like pretty much just a proof of concept. We were programming, and then like a dog like just came and hit the laptop, and as you said, we're sleeping on couches, and it was like the interesting days where we never imagined that Balancer would hold so much money as it does today, or it would be so relevant. Like the rest of DeFi, it really took me by surprise, like how important things got and how many people are involved today, how much money is on it. So it's funny how like the early days look like when you think of how big things have become.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Now moving to more serious stuff. In early June, Balance deployed on Optimism. Are there any other L2 solutions you plan to expand to?
Yes. So we are definitely, so my thesis and that of the team and the community is that we need to scale. AMMs are very transaction intensive. So anytime the market price deviates from what the pools offer, there has to be on-chain transactions to correct that. So we need scalability, and we're working with the Gnosis Chain team to deploy there very soon. We're also working with ZK Sync, and also like have some discussions with other scalability solutions, other layer twos, and also other L1s. So we're very open to not only L2s on Ethereum. I think that's our kind of DNA. We're Ethereum first, but we're also open to other layer ones.
Yeah, that's cool. Still, I want to to talk a little bit more about L2 solutions in general, about whether this is really something that can help us solve this scalability issue.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is one of the misconceptions of the merge. People think that after the merge, Ethereum will magically be more scalable and have more capacity and block space. This is not true. So we do need lots of competing options for scalability. I'm a fan of rollups. I think both optimistic rollups or ZK rollups, they're like very interesting solutions to the same problem. They offer different trade-offs. And I'm a big fan of the market kind of evolving in a way that the best just survive, and we don't really set on a solution too early, only to find out that it's not really viable, like Plasma and some kind of early days like solutions that Ethereum had in mind, like they didn't really work out. They evolved into rollups and everything, but I think we should have a lot of different experimentation options, and then we will see like what sticks for which use cases. Like there might be some rollups that are better for DeFi where a lot of money is involved. So ZK rollups offer mathematical kind of assurances about your money not being stolen, whereas optimistic rollups are more like a game theoretical. It depends on how much is being staked to protect your money. So there's different trade-offs, and each of those solutions will be useful for different niches and use cases. So big fan. I agree totally with Vitalik with his like roll-up centric future of Ethereum. I think the L1, and a lot of people say that, it's not just me, will be just the settlement layer where like really important disputes are made and settlements, but all of, like the hard computation, all the storage is kind of put somewhere else where it's a lot cheaper. So yeah, I think Ethereum is on the right path for like keeping decentralized, keeping very neutral, and being the base layer for the financial, not only the financial, but like lots of applications that like identity and so many other things of the future. So couldn't be more excited and bullish about Ethereum and layer twos.
Cool. Now, I want to ask a more general question about the crypto space. Basically, we are in a bearish cycle.
Yeah.
And that's quite sad for lots of people. They've lost their assets. They are worried about what's coming next. But what do you think? Is there any silver lining? Is anything good that could come out of this bear market?
Good question. I believe that this the collapse of Luna and UST and many other kind of CeFi companies like Celsius and others, I think it showed everyone that DeFi works. So everything really happened as intended in DeFi. These companies had to pay their debts to Compound, to Aave, to Maker to get whatever was locked in the smart contracts. The same kind of idea when I started my first CDP a long time ago with MakerDAO. So everything worked as kind of written in the code. And people who really got hurt were those that were depending on actual like written like paper contracts. And these guys are going to go to court. They're going to wait for their money for a long time. Maybe they will just have like half of it. So I think the silver lining here is that we are in a bear market, but DeFi and decentralized applications worked very smoothly. Balancer, Uniswap, Aave, MakerDAO, like all of these have like really kind of worked as expected. So it's normal for us to have cycles. And I think every time we go down, we harden and kind of get better. And people are more and more aware of the risks when something bad happens. And I think the fact that everything worked is like a very good kind of inspiration for other protocols that are going to be like deciding should we do more like something that's controlled by a centralized force or entity, or do it more decentralized. And I hope things go to the decentralized side of things.
Cool. You've mentioned briefly those disasters like the Terra Luna disaster, and if we try to single out one thing, one biggest lesson from this Terra Luna disaster and other collapses, what would that be?
I think that all the founders, all the protocol creators, everyone involved in Web3, in DeFi, in Ethereum, and other blockchain applications, they have like the responsibility to plan and to model and to design their systems not only for up markets but also for down markets. So to me, it was very clear that it wouldn't work if like the market went down and USD started depegging. To me, it was like a clearly flawed system. And while people get blindsided by or blinded by money and by opportunity, when you see like a token going from $1 to 100 in a few months, you get like excited and you want to get rich as well. I think the lesson is that you cannot get rich quick. There's a lot of hard work and lots of years to prove that well-modeled and designed money systems, financial systems, like are required. A lot of years are required to prove those. And if something just works on the way up, it's no good. Like people will get hurt, and these should be avoided at all costs. So design your systems for both all market conditions. It should be resilient, like MakerDAO was in the Black Thursday days. Like things crashed by like 50-60% in a few days, and everything worked perfectly. Well, there were some glitches, but the whole system worked as expected. Yeah.
Cool. And my final question is about DAOs. Could they play a bigger role than what they're playing now? Probably, maybe there could be some place for them outside the crypto space.
Very good question. I believe that DAOs are just like a translation of social like means of coordination and interaction from what we have already in the real world, where people meet and like voice their opinions, they vote, companies or groups of people that are like-minded. We're just kind of representing that on chain, and this is super powerful because it allows people to put their mouth where their money is, to kind of delegate very easily to other people. It allows them to be anonymous in a very kind of safe and guaranteed way. There's like lots of advantages. There's also challenges because like nothing is only like the good side. You have to kind of figure out the Sybil kind of problem where people can have multiple wallets and be able to vote as if they were different entities. So the identity challenges is something that will help a lot if solved for DAOs to thrive. But I really think that DAOs are an amazing like way for people to coordinate using the blockchain, and we'll see a lot of innovation and improvements in the next year. So I'm very bullish on DAOs too.
Cool. Thank you, Fernando, for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. A pleasure.